fun. Just have the volume down on your phone.
What's up? What's up? How's everyone? So
We're doing just fine.
we are live.
Are we on already?
Yeah, we're live. So listen, good to see you.
Hey, brother. How are you, man?
All right.
Nice to meet you.
Barry King.
Right.
Barry Lee King.
Very good.
Good to see you. All right, so can we start off by sharing a little bit this evening? It's this evening. We're doing an evening show every Thursday at 7 is when we do this. Welcome to the Hardcore Homeowner. And we got Zales Restoration and Mitigation in the house, Matt Ford. Matt, what's going on, man?
How are you, brother?
Good. Hold on, we got a special guest.
Special guest.
Yes. Can you please go upstairs? You're not in here. I'm not doing the show. I think.
Interesting. So we got the dog chiming in on us here. We're gonna let people jump on too. There's a couple people here already to see. How was Christmas?
Great. How was yours?
Santa came.
Did he?
Yeah, he did.
So you were on the nice list, not the naughty list.
I think he borrowed my credit card, but he definitely came to the house. Yeah.
All right.
Yes, I'm aware of that too.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's good to see everybody today. How was your Christmas?
Man, also we were just talking about
Fantastic.
Man, good to see you. So did you get Santa that came? Did you get some gifts? Was it fun to see the kids? I see you got a ping pong table.
we got the ping pong table. I don't know how I fit that down the chimney, but okay, that was cheesy.
Hey, that's Santa. That's Santa though. Santa can do it.
Yeah, we got a new ping pong table. I am the champion, reigning champion of this weekend or the holiday right now.
Yeah, I seen you got the gold medal.
Chase thinks he's a stud, but he can't hang. And, so he needs to bring his game because I took him out pretty good.
Some things
Good
stay the
deal.
same. Ping pong tables never go out, do they?
That's right.
No, they don't. Listen, if you guys could share this, good to see you. What are we talking about tonight? Are we talking about?
Hey, you know what, Shane? Episode 2 of How to Be a Hardcore Homeowner. You know, we talked a little bit last week. You can wait on that one. We talked about last week, and what we want to do with the show is just promote homeownership and how important it is that we are taking care of our homes and our properties and being prepared for things before they happen, right?
Yeah.
So, Shane, you met Barry. Barry and I have been friends for 15-something years. Our kids have grown up in karate together and just done all kinds of stuff, and we're super good friends. We don't get to see each other as much as we probably like.
We like to, right?
We also stay out of trouble that way, but I thought Barry was a great guy to have on the show tonight. Barry was an insurance agent for a super long time for a national company, one of the big dogs, right?
Right.
Your whole family was in it for a super long time.
Yes.
So you're a great guy to understand home ownership and insurance and stuff. That's number one, why I wanted to have you. Number two, Shane, you remember last week we talked about the importance of, what was the phrase? Having a guy.
Oh yeah, having that
Right?
list.
So have a list of
The
stuff,
shut-off.
right?
Oh,
and we'll
good.
produce that. We'll put that on the show at some point where, hey, T-Page,
Hey
I
buddy.
see you there.
Hey Terry.
We'll put that on the show. We'll put a list of stuff, Barry, like, what type of people do we need to know? So I need to know, I might need an electrician. I might need a plumber. I might need an HVAC guy, right? And there's a bunch of those out there.
That
And
it
if you-
is. That it is.
If you don't know a guy,
Travis, Dave, Chris.
and the oh crap button rings, and it's an electrical issue.
Please
you
share,
Google it,
please.
millions of people, right?
That's correct.
So it's important to have a guy. And one of the things for me is, I was born and raised in Texas, spent 25 years, my first 25 years of my life in Amarillo, Texas. And if I still lived there, I'd have guys, right? People I grew up with that are in the industry doing different trades that I would know and have those relationships. I don't have that in Pennsylvania because I'm a transplant.
Right.
I haven't been here that long.
Michael.
So I didn't go to high school with a guy who is the best plumber in town. I didn't go to high school with a guy who was the best HVAC technician. Whereas you were born and raised in York, PA.
Yes, it was.
Please
Born and
share
raised
this.
here.
Where'd you go to high school? Central?
West York.
You went to West York, my bad.
West
Sorry.
York
Bulldogs.
Oh, geez.
You're thinking of my son.
Jeez. Yeah, because he's at Central. And so you've got tons of people, but the coolest thing that happened to me was almost, and I'm not trying to toot your horn here, but meeting Barry King, because when we met and I find out, so remember the movie Shawshank Redemption?
Yes.
Who doesn't remember that movie?
Hey,
right?
David.
First of all,
Oh, what a
remember that
great
movie?
movie. Yeah.
So Morgan Freeman, what was his name in testing? What was Morgan? Eric Latshaw. What was Morgan Freeman's name in what's the movie again? Shawshank Redemption. What was his character's name? I forget. Anyway, it doesn't matter. we all know what he was, right? Like if you needed something in the prison, he was your guy.
He was
right?
your guy.
That's who you
Yes.
went to. I need a rock hammer, right? You go to Morgan Freeman's, got it in 3 days for a pack of cigarettes
Right.
and whatever. Barry has become my guy. I mean, because Barry knows all the people. He knows not only that, but
Darlene.
pretty handy guy.
Right? I don't think so.
And I'm kind of handy. I'd even say I'm pretty handy, Shane Train, like on some stuff. But
I'm zero.
There's stuff I don't touch. I don't touch electric and I don't touch plumbing. And I don't really know enough about HVAC to do a lot except go, that's not blowing.
Good
you know?
evening.
So
Please
repair
share.
stuff like that on those specialty things, like I could probably repair a roof leak, and replace shingles and do those kinds of things. That wouldn't be as hard, but some of those specialty things that I don't have to do,
Right.
you do to some extent, and you know your boundaries, but you're able to diagnose and fix some things on your own. So you're like a hardcore homeowner on crack.
Pretty much, yeah.
I mean, if it's broke, you can fix it for the most part, and if you're calling somebody, it's broke.
It's broke.
Right?
It's broke. Right.
For me, it's just got to be, that don't look right, and I got to call somebody, and I know you love it. Like, when I called Barry about the show for this week, and he's like, what's broken now, man? Right?
That was my
It's
first
always
one,
something.
yeah.
It's my pride lawnmower, or it's a
furnace,
hosted, the
puff
furnace.
back.
I mean, it's something with, and so Barry's like, oh, what's broken now? Which doesn't make him a terrible friend, but
No, but that's what friends are
but
for.
That's what friends
Zach,
are for, right?
Thomas.
Right.
And so you gotta have the
Please
guy.
share. Please
and if people
support
don't,
small business.
how do they meet people?
Well, the best thing I can tell you, Matt, and for everybody on Facebook here tonight, the best thing you can do is if you're a transplant to the area, talk to your neighbors, talk to your friends. They're the ones who can tell you and help direct you. They're the ones that have probably have contractors that have lived here for years who know the good contractors
Sure.
and know who to get and who the ones to stay away from.
That's
Okay.
that's the bigger one.
Bigger one.
If you can get that in your head, yeah.
The thing is building that relationship. I don't care if it's with an HVAC guy, a plumbing guy, electrician guy. You got to build the relationship, and you don't want to wait till the aha moment when you got a problem.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Now you pick up. You can't
Because
pick up the
then
phone
you're
book
just building
anymore.
me in sales restoration. Because when that aha moment goes off and that pipe breaks and you weren't home or whatever, and you got a huge mess on your hands besides just the break, that's when I get in play, right?
That's exactly right.
If you don't hire the right plumber or the right person to fix it all the way, or they didn't track the water all the way, and then 2 weeks later now you've got a mold issue, now you're on the hook for me too, right?
That's correct.
So it's like, I want to promote sales. We're here for you, of course, for everybody. But on the front end, Barry, be a hardcore guy, right? Like
Right.
you that can say, well, no problem, I'll call Tom.
Right.
Right? That's all there is to it. No problem, I'm going to call Shane Train.
The
What do I
main-
need?
the main-
So,
the main thing
call
we
me,
got-
and are you going to get him a shirt as being the first legit certified hardcore homeowner?
We have to get him a hardcore
Right?
homeowner shirt.
Because that's what people have to want to get, is that right? Because those are the people you want to know. That's important. Like when people come back and watch this and they see this, because you're going to see entertainment, but this is serious stuff.
This is big
Your
stuff.
biggest investment is your home. Getting ahead of this. The nuggets that you're going to get off here is what's you'll put in your journal, and you'll say, now I'm becoming a hardcore homeowner. You're building confidence and competence to take care of it the right way. And if you can't, that's also being confident to know what not to do. You must have stories of people that got in too over their head and didn't know when to call, right?
Definitely.
So-
The main thing is if you don't have the talent and you don't have the ability to know someone, then what you can do actually is call up the Better Business Bureau. They'll help you, okay, if you're new to the area. But the main thing is don't wait till the aha moment. Try to start planning now, ahead of time. Have that list of contractors. If you're a husband and you're pretty much a do-it-yourselfer, how about the times you're out of town, okay? The wife's home with the kids. All of a sudden the water main breaks. Does she know where to turn the water main off at?
Exactly right.
Water will run and can fill a basement in no time flat. But if you don't know where to shut off the water main, till they call you, Matt,
Right.
you get there and then, we need a plumber, we got to call a plumber in, 2 to 3 hours have already elapsed. The basement's now
Dylan.
full third full of water.
Absolutely. There's no doubt about it. I mean, and we get those calls all the time. We had a pipe break and my neighbor showed me how to shut it off or something, which, it's good on the neighbor, which is good to have. So we got it shut off, but the basement's third full. Now I got to come in, pump it out, and dry it out. That's all good.
Andrew.
But there are other things too when it comes to the plumbing, like shutting water off. And like every toilet, if it's put installed properly, has a shut off of its own.
That is correct. Yes.
Every sink underneath, and whether it's a bathroom or in the kitchen, should have hot and cold shut offs if it's plumbed in properly. Big if, right? Depending on how old the house is, who did the work, and all those things.
That's correct.
You could go there first, And
you could.
If that's not doing it, we got to know where the main is.
Right.
And that's a big question. Hey, if you're watching tonight, we've got 15 watchers right now. Chime in here. If you know where your water main shutoff is, put a thumbs up in the comment section. And don't be shy. If you really don't know, don't comment. But put a thumbs up if you do know where your water main is.
At the end of the show, I'll show you. I think it's right in that door.
Gotta know it, right?
We're gonna find out.
That's where you're running.
So I put a 1 in?
Right?
Well, the thing is,
put in
if you know
something.
If you know where your water main is, make certain even your wife and kids know.
Yes.
Wow,
because
that was what you said about being on vacation. How many people travel for work?
Well, if you're at work.
Well, even if you're on vacation, one thing that I have done after being in the business of the insurance for over 33 years is when my wife and I go away, even if it's for a 3-day weekend, the water main gets turned off.
Right.
Because
not in the winter time so much.
No, I'm not away in the winter time.
You're not away in the winter, but you don't want to shut it off in the winter.
Not if you don't have to.
Right.
Let's
leave it. Let's leave it flow.
But the thing is, the water can run at such a speed that it can fill your basement very quickly. And when you're away on vacation, it's great to have people come over and look after you're home and
checking on it,
checking on your mail and bringing in the newspaper. The main thing is, most people don't go in the basement.
Correct.
Water flows downhill.
Correct.
Where's the water going to go? To the basement. If they walk through the basement and there's no water, great. So if you really want to be safe and sorry instead of sorry, turn that water main off.
Listen, let's make a note here. I mean, if you really think about some of those nuggets that you just said, I mean, there's something to that. So it's great that if you're going out of town and you have a neighbor or a friend or a family member going to come over and check on your place for you,
right?
Check on it. Let's give them a list. Mm-hmm. Hey, do me a favor. When you come over, stand in the middle of the house and be super quiet and listen.
That's right.
If you hear any water running, right? Go down to the basement and check it. Just do a quick walkthrough, yada, yada, before you just say, yes, I checked on it. Because how bad are they going to feel if they were in charge of your home while you're gone and you come home and the basement's full?
That's right.
Like, well, I was there once a day, every day. They're going to feel bad.
They are going to feel bad.
So let's give, I mean, if you got a babysitter, you give her here's the number where we're going to be, here's the number with my cell phone. You're pretty detailed on that, right? It should be that way with babysitting our homes, right?
And when you guys are
That's
away,
hardcore, baby.
When you're away on vacation and let's say your friend calls you and say, hey, Matt, your plumbing's leaking. Who do I call? You're in Timbuktu somewhere.
Right.
No internet. Who do you call?
Right.
Do you have their number on your cell phone?
You're gonna give them,
call somebody. Well, who do I call?
Right.
You got to have that list. It's just like when you go out in the wintertime in your car. They give you that survival list. A blanket, a snow shovel, salt. It's the same thing for your home.
I wonder how many people really do that either. But
very few. But again, you will pay the price for this because your home is your single biggest investment.
Huge.
Yeah.
Okay? And the worst thing you do is ignore it.
Please share this.
Hey, Troy,
please share.
So, when you get out there and you start thinking about all the damage that can come into play real quickly, it does a lot of damage. And what it does is it takes the family itself and throws a real big debacle into the whole mess because, let's face it, when these disasters strike, it's never when you want them to.
See, let me stop you here because you just said something that I was preaching about last week, and I feel like a little preacher up here sometimes. When disaster strikes, right? When people hear the word disaster, their minds automatically go big.
Right.
Monsoon, hurricane, tornado, bad fire, right?
That's right.
A disaster is a pipe break in your house when you're not home. How often are we not home? I'm not home all day. I got a job, right? So if you're not there, so there's all kinds of these things we got to think about. Don't start your dishwasher in the morning and leave for work.
Wow.
Don't run it when you're not home.
Right.
Paul.
When's it going to break? When it's running, right? So if you're not home and it pops and you're not there to hear it, know it, and shut off that main, you got a full basement of water.
Yes, you do.
You're done. I mean, right? So let's go back a couple steps. back to the insurance thing, right? You got insurance on your home.
Sure, dude.
Right? I got insurance. Shane, you got some insurance, right?
Yes.
Well, okay, we get insurance for a couple reasons. One, we're required to have insurance for a mortgage.
That
You
is
have
correct.
to have it. But I can't imagine anybody being a homeowner and not having insurance. But why do we have it?
Well, the insurance is there to protect you from the losses, the huge losses. For example, if you have a total burnout, okay?
Right.
Your home, let's say it's a $200,000 home.
Right.
That's the price of
So
the home,
yes.
not counting your contents. Okay.
Right. Oh, yeah.
So you can easily double that. That's $400,000.
Mickey.
Do you have $400,000 in
Construction
the bank?
Kingdom.
No.
No, most people don't.
Right.
So that you buy insurance.
Right.
And you buy the insurance with the known fact that you could have a loss.
That's why we get it.
That's why you
Because
got it.
the whole concept is, and that's the painful part of it is, every month we pay our premium, and then you look back and you go, man, I've lived here for 10 years,
That is
been
a
paying
rock
my
star.
premium,
Yeah, true.
and I'll tell you what, I haven't had one claim. Why am I spending all this money?
Right.
Well, it's because trust me, it's going to happen.
It's gonna happen.
Something big or small will happen.
Well, I'll give you an example that leads right into this, and it leads right out of where we were talking. I had a policyholder who used to go to Florida every year.
Okay.
Okay? Insured him for 30 years. Left one January, morning, was down for the rest of the winter.
Yeah.
Came home, found the water pipe broke on the second floor. It ran for 3 months.
3 full months.
3 full months. It took 4 months just to dry the house out.
Oh, for sure.
Taking down all the drywall, all the studding,
You
and
take
whatever
it to
had
studs,
the carpet,
got it completely. Yep.
all the furniture. The mold remediation was going to be a nightmare.
Yep.
Okay? So, when you think you don't need it,
Wow.
the moment you cancel it or you decide, I paid off my house, I don't need the insurance,
Yep.
that's when it's going to happen.
So, and let's talk about some of those things, and we touched on it, or I touched on it a little bit last week with just the Shane train here, but with you here with 35 plus years knowledge of insurance, right? As a homeowner, and I swear this happens a lot, is that in construction, in our world, it's something we do every day. We swing hammers every day. We dry houses every day. It's second nature.
Right.
It's what we do, right? So
You're an
it's
extension
easy,
of the insurance company.
but it's easy to get comfortable in that, and it's just your state of mind. That's what we do. So nobody really thinks about that. And I think as an insurance agent, if a new person walks in their office to buy a policy, right? Agents sell policies all day.
Right.
Second agent, that's what we do. No problem. Sit down, Mr. Jones, name, da-da-da-da-da, right? Fill that sucker out. And you could be having a day. It doesn't matter, right? Maybe you phoned it in a little bit. You just sold them a policy, sign here, and they went. I'm not saying you ever did that, but I'm saying this happens. And here's what really happens: I call it www.takemyclient.com, because that's what all these Geicos and
Cut rate.
internet-based cut rate insurance companies are. From the local, we talked about using small business and local business. That's who I want to deal with. Is someone that will not phone it in and
Right.
just give me that basic policy grunt. Here's your premium. You're out the door. You're good to go. I want to talk. Tell me about your house. Do you have a sump pit? Is there a pump in it? We need a rider for that, for coverage.
right.
It's not in
Are you
your
a hunter?
basic.
Do you carry a lot of extra guns in your house?
What do you got?
Do you need a rider?
mean,
you may have a lot of jewelry.
When
You need a rider.
Cindy's grandmother passed away a few years ago and left us this stuff called Yadro. So you hear a Yadro?
Oh, yeah.
It's a collectible. I'm not into it. I'm just
Collectible
really not.
porcelain.
But collectible porcelain figurines or whatever. Let me tell you something. We had to get a rider on that stuff
That's
because
right.
that stuff's expensive, bro.
Right.
And it would not have been covered. We put a pool in. You better go see your agent.
That's right.
So there's all kinds of these things. And, what is my endorsement for mold if it ever comes up? Because that's a big one, right?
That's it.
And what's my responsibility as a homeowner? A lot of people that call us certainly don't know that when you have a loss at your home, your responsibility is to prevent secondary damage.
That's correct.
Right?
Very important.
And do you know that,
point.
Shane Train?
No.
Okay, you have a responsibility
To prevent
under
any
coverage
further loss
to
from happening.
prevent further damage. So if your pipe breaks and you know about it and you don't do anything about it, or if let's say a pipe
So
broke
if
and
the
it
fire
leaked,
starts down and call 911, that's going to be a problem.
right, well,
Fire.
right,
No, I'm
but
just
if-
saying.
if-
There's had to be
but you're
people
supposed
that
to
let it
prevent,
burn and knew it.
yeah,
Right.
That's had to happen.
but you got to prevent additional damage from happening. And if you don't
So
at
what
least
do you
make,
do
you know,
if you
even
just
even if
call
you
your
just try,
insurance?
that's all they
Yeah.
want to know.
Oh, they want to make sure you tried.
You
So
gotta
better
call
know where your
somebody.
water main is.
Well, you got to call somebody. You can't wait a week and you can call a plumber.
Well,
Now you got a big
Andrew,
issue and they're not going to
Jenny.
cover that.
a good example is a lot of homes get struck by cars. Okay, and a lot of times they'll go right through the front door. Well, they pull the car out. Now you got this gaping hole.
Yep.
What are you going to go to bed with that gaping hole in your front of your home?
Well, I'm not going to do it until
Okay.
my adjuster comes out. That's what
Oh,
I'm saying.
wrong,
Wow,
my
that's
man.
what people. That's what I would think.
No.
Well, I
You
can't do
must
it.
prevent any further loss from occurring, which means if you're a thief, you can walk right in that front door and start stealing. So
Wow.
you
You gotta get it
failed on your duty to prevent any further damage from occurring. Okay? That is it's very
reality.
clear
That makes
in
sense.
insurance policies.
And
Wow,
it's
but I never
very,
knew
it's
that.
very true with that kind of thing, whether it's a vehicle into a building or it's a small fire burned a hole in an exterior
That's
wall.
why I see people come out right away, board it up.
You gotta get it
correct.
boarded up. And people, and here's we talked about this briefly last
Wow,
week too.
huge nugget.
What you
Please
have to
share.
remember is, I understand one of the reasons people have insurance is because they think, well, that's my guy,
Right?
right? And there used to be a day. You remember the day?
Oh, yes.
When you would sell a policy to someone, and by God, it was before cell phones, some of it, but I mean, I know some agents that still give their cell phone number out to their insureds, and that cell phone sits on their nightstand table, and when that oh crap moment happens, you just call me,
Right.
right? And I'll take care of you, because that's my job as your agent. That's what I'm here
That's
for.
exactly
I'm
right.
your guy. Well, who are you going to call if you bought a Geico? And I'm just saying Geico is a friend.
1-800.
1-800 take my client is what
Right.
those are, right? www not take my client. That's all they are. There's nobody you can call. You call it's after hours. You're going to get a call center in India or somewhere like that. You've got to be able to call somebody right now and take care of business. And you can't make a mistake.
No.
You really can't make a mistake. So you can't go, well, I don't want to do anything until I talk to my insurance company. Well, that's bad.
That's
Right?
very bad.
You need to get, I don't care who it is, but you got to get somebody to help you right now. And if you've got to pay out of pocket, you pay out of pocket and hold on to that invoice.
That's
for
right.
You guys
reimbursement.
do. That's what sales does.
That's what we do.
All right.
But
that
that's what a plumber does, and that's what a carpenter
Yeah.
does. Maybe you know what? Maybe you got
Show
a buddy
on.
who's a carpenter. You say, "Come on, board this up."
Everybody has a
Can't make a mistake.
deductible on their homeowners. So even if you got to pay out to board up that front door,
Right.
a couple $100,
It'll
let's
be
say you have a
reimbursed.
$500 deductible, you're going to have to pay that no matter what.
Right.
That $250 for emergency board up will be applied to your deductible.
Right.
So that you only have
You're out to
$250
find
left on your deductible to pay for the entire claim.
Exactly right.
You're going to pay that $500 no matter what.
And so it doesn't matter if you go, and if most call centers will say, okay, well, you need to call a mitigation company if it's water or if it's a fire. You need
I was going
somebody
to
out
say,
to
because I've
secure
had
the
three
property.
different things, and they told me each time. But I had State Farm. Shout out to them. They've always taken care of me. So they told me what to do every time.
And
I
that's
called State
awesome.
Farm.
And that's awesome.
And my
right?
agents have always been local to here, so they've
And
always
that's
taken
and,
care of
and
me.
a lot of that doesn't
And
happen
listen,
much anymore
call
because
me,
what
Josie
happens is
called me.
they may give you 3 names and say, here, call one of these 3. I know them.
Right.
We worked with them in the past. It's your decision who you hire, but here's 3 names to call from, right?
Well, a lot of
So-
things have changed though, Matt, with the good quality companies that have been around forever.
Right.
We're not talking about the 1-800 cut my rate.
Right.
Okay, company. These are companies who have agents who sit there every day in small business and want to service their clients.
For sure.
Now, obviously, when I was an
Gabrielle.
agent, I couldn't be there 24 hours a day. But today, the technology has been that, yes, you may still have the agent's cell number, but his wife may be in the hospital delivering a baby.
Right.
And he's going to look at that, not now, most companies have an 800 number to call that you can call in and say, hey, this is John Smith. I had a fire at my house. My agent is so-and-so. This is my address. Fine, hold on a minute. We have
Pull up
reps
the
in the
policy.
area. They pull up the policy, they pull up you guys, say, okay, we're going to call in Zales. We're going to do the emergency board up,
Yeah.
whatever they got to do. These established companies have established their
A vendor relationship.
relationship, if you will, that they know that you guys do good work,
Correct.
and they have to prevent any further losses from occurring.
And that's beautiful. And now let me ask you this though. So let's say Shane Train has an issue and he knows me, right? And he calls me first and says, Matt, you gotta get out there and help me out. I got so and so going on. And we roll out there, right? And then he calls the insurance company and file a claim. and says, and they say, Shane, you got to get somebody out there. You know, we can help you with that. And he says, oh no, I've already called sales restoration.
That is correct.
It's completely fine. Right?
Yep, you're
it's
fine.
Completely up to, or whoever restoration.
Right.
Maybe you got a brother who works for a restoration company, or an uncle or a cousin. I'm not just promoting us. I'm just saying.
Rossi, Sean,
Do
good to
the
see you.
homework.
Please share this
know
out.
it beforehand.
Right.
Right? Know who you're going to call. Well, here, the old crap button just rang. What's the issue? Here are my calls that I have to make. I got to get a plumber to stop that leak. I got to get a mitigation company to come dry it out. Right? So Barry's a plumber and I'm a mitt guy. I got to call Barry, is what we want to be able to answer the question, right? And I got to call Matt.
Otis.
Right.
Right?
That
Those
is
are the
correct.
two things. So instead of saying I have to call somebody, or I have to find a company, a hardcore homeowner says I got to call Tom and I got to call Brad.
Right.
Because you already know it. It's already there. It's in your phone, whatever it is. Or the wife calls you, you're at a hotel because you're traveling for work. Oh my God, honey, guess what just happened? Chill.
I got it covered.
Settle down. I got this. And you call your guy.
Right.
Who will now come out and take care of your wife as well. Talk her off the ledge.
Right.
Right? Everything's going to be okay. Let's call in a claim. Yada, 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 and those things. So
Well, and the
just
other thing that
connecting all
happens-
those dots is super important.
When you start establishing a relationship with a plumber and HVAC guy, electrician, once you establish that relationship, there's guys that are plumbers or electricians who say, okay, I'll be out tomorrow.
Right.
Well, tomorrow may be too late.
Right.
Okay.
Well, a relationship guy won't.
A relationship guy won't.
Right.
I'll be there in an hour.
And that's
as soon
a
as
lot
I
of what
get there.
happens too. They'll call. They're going to, and we do this to get information on the front end. So we know how to prepare, right?
Right.
And so will a plumber and electrician. If you call a company, they're going to say, "Tell me what's going on." Boom, 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 and they're going to make a decision whether it's really an emergency situation or not.
Right.
Like to your point. Okay, well that can wait till morning, and I'll get somebody out there. This, that, and the other. So, and I had somebody hit me on Facebook this week and say they had to call an emergency. I think it was a plumber. And
Michael,
they didn't
good to see
discuss
ya.
anything on the phone. Just, can you come out? It's an emergency call. I got a pipe, an issue. Well, they got sticker shock clearly when they got the bill. Because they didn't discuss any of that up front.
Right.
What's the minimum trip fee? You know, if you get out here and if it's barely anything, what's my bill going to be? It's okay to ask those questions,
Sure
right?
is.
So you got to know. And listen, I love this phrase. I heard this comment. Shane, did you ever hear this? It was a contractor who said, I've been in my industry for 30 years, right? So you're not paying for the 30 minutes it takes me to do that. You're paying for the 30 years it costs me to learn how.
That's
Amen.
Right? So most of it's legitimately charged. I mean, if it's an after hours call and there's a minimum fee plus a part plus whatever, and it was on Christmas Eve, expect a bill.
Jack,
Yes.
Troy.
Right? I mean, that's the way it's going to be. But it's okay to ask that up front. Hey, what am I looking at? It's a
Right.
great way to ask the question. Not, how much is this all going to cost me? That's a red flag. I don't know if I want to work for that.
Right.
How much is all this going to cost me, right? I mean, can you talk me through this a little bit? I'm super lost. I don't know what I'm doing. And they will. And if they won't, call somebody else. Right? I don't care if it's mitigation. Now, it's tough to talk about a mitigation for pricing because it's rate material based on what all's going on.
That's
We'll
correct.
give you an idea. But a plumber can tell you, it's $250 for me to walk up to your house and ring the doorbell. Right?
And that includes
then-
1 hour's worth of labor.
and for that, I can be here an hour. And if I go an hour and 10 minutes, it's another 150.
Right.
Oh, well, I can do math in my head, right? So I'm out of this for less than 500, hopefully.
Right.
Well, now it's not as shocking when you get their bill because they want paid right then.
Sure.
That's the way that works. So
But
it's
in
just-
most cases, again, if you make that establishment and establish a good rapport with these guys,
For sure.
they'll bill you down the road. Okay,
some will do that.
others will not.
Barry
But
turned me
again-
on to a guy. Remember the investment I bought a couple years ago? I bought a Cub Cadet riding mower.
Yep, I remember
I think it
that.
was $1,800 or something, which was a lot. That's a lot of money, right?
Right.
So, and I don't know how to change my oil in a mower or sharpen. I can sharpen blades on a push mower, like I can handle that. But I don't know how to do all the stuff with this riding mower, and I wanted to take care of it. And Barry knows that world. And you have a Cub Cadet. What
Yeah.
year is yours?
Mine's an 84.
Yours is 1984. Still blows snow with it, does everything, right? Because he takes care of it. So I have an issue, and I go, I got to get this somewhere. Do you know anybody? And of course, Barry goes, well, hell yeah, I know somebody. Take it over to this guy. He's my guy.
That's right.
That's kind of where I got the phrase. That's my guy. So I take my mower over to him, right? And he looks at it and he goes,
Carmen.
yeah, that's probably going to cost about $135. And I go, okay, great. Do I pay you when I pick it up? He goes, sure. So I go to pick it up in 2 days when he calls me, right? And I go to give him my debit card. And he goes, I don't take debit cards. I'm cash or check only. And I'm thinking, well, now he's going to hold my mower hostage till I can go get money and come back, whatever. He goes, just put the check in the mail. I said, you're kidding me. This is 2017, brother. You're going to let me take my mower, and you may never hear from me again. But you know what? He wasn't worried about it because he has a relationship with Barry.
Right.
If Barry vouched for me, I'm good.
That's right.
That's what having a guy is all about, right?
Sure is.
That's the relationship of just going, dude, not a big deal. Drop a check in the mail. See you next month when you need to get your tires rotated or your blade sharpened or whatever. But those are the relationships. Like I've always, Cindy and I talk about it all the time. I'm like, geez, I got to figure out how to get as connected in certain areas as Barry is. So that if, same thing, I travel for work. She travels for work. I mean, when that thing happens, it's like, who am I going to call? And I have people that call me all the time. Hey, I got an emergency situation. Do you know who I should call? I want to be that resource for my friends. So I do have those folks, guys, in York County, in Dauphin County, in Lancaster County. If you have issues like that, just happened this week, somebody reached out to me and said, holy crap, I got an issue. Who do I call? And it wasn't something that we needed Zales. It wasn't restoration yet. It was a specific electrical issue. And gave the name of an electrician, called him, loved him, everything went great. Have a guy.
Right.
Right?
Have a guy.
Have a guy. That's the topic of tonight, I think, really. So, and your guy better be your agent, too, because I want to swing back to that in a minute.
I want to go back to being an agent, too, because a lot of people, the best thing you can do, and I always focused on this, whenever I'd see a client come into the office, if we hadn't seen each other for a while, hey, let's make an appointment, let's get together.
Hi, Cindy.
And everybody thinks that we're
Hi, Todd.
they're trying to sell you.
TC Backer.
But the thing was, people
God.
forget. People forget what they're there for and what we're doing for them.
Right.
Okay? It's very important to know that you understand what you're paying for, and your life could have changed in the last 5 years.
That's
For
right.
example, those yardros. Those yardros are not typically covered for breakage under a homeowner's
Don't come
policy.
break into my house and try to
Okay.
steal them either. I just store them off site.
So
if you're
let's say
watching-
somebody comes into your house with a little child, a toddler, and they chip one.
Yeah.
Accidentally.
Yeah.
It's not covered.
Right?
Wow.
So what you got to do is, I didn't know you got these things. Now all of a sudden it's my job as an agent to tell you
It's your
what
option.
you're short on. It's your decision
Right.
if you want to roll the
Buy a
dice.
policy or not. But what does a sump pump rider cost? An extra $15 a month? I mean,
it averages, I would say, somewhere around $50 to $75 a year.
a year. Okay.
A year.
So, but if you don't have it, what does it cost?
Glenn, Brett.
Huge.
What's up, Brett?
The numbers just keep rolling.
Because groundwater
There's your
coming
pool
in.
guy.
Who's that? My man, Brett. Love you, kid. When that sump pump overflows and floods your basement with groundwater, if it had a pump in it and the pump failed and you've got that rider coverage, you're covered for the whole mess.
That's correct.
If you don't, you get nothing.
No, you
To some policies.
get everything.
Yeah, you get to pay everything.
Yeah, right.
Because they're not going to get any insurance coverage.
That's correct.
Depending on the
That-
policy, of course, but that's
But
how most policies are
You
structured.
touched on something very important. A lot of people get this confused. The easiest way to remember if water is covered,
Yep.
water damage is covered,
Talk to me.
if it comes from a domestic water system, that
Okay.
means from your plumbing,
Yep.
okay, and leaks into your house,
Yep.
it's covered. Okay?
Probably, yes.
Matt.
Now, if the water comes in from groundwater
Yes.
and seeps into your house,
Yes.
Oh.
okay, it is not covered.
Correct.
Unless you have a sump pump endorsement onto your policy, and if you live in a floodplain, you must have flood
Nana.
insurance.
Correct.
Hi,
So those are
happy
questions
holidays.
to ask. And here's, to take it a step further, because we're getting long again. We probably want to wrap here shortly, for a second, because we'll talk all night, me and you. I know that. And Shane Train's been over there just saying hi to folks, so we must not want to let him get a word in.
Right.
I don't
So-
need to. You guys are
Yeah,
fine.
we're
Look,
flying,
at the end of
baby.
the day, these are important things. If you go back and look, there's about 4 or 5 really solid nuggets.
Oh, listen, there's
So-
more to come on future shows as well. But here's what I'm trying to say is it's just that important that if you're going to sit down with your agent, you need to ask them the question whether it's a new policy or you're just going to go visit them because you haven't seen them for a while.
Right.
Pull my policy. Can we go through it?
Sure.
Let him ask you, him or her, ask you the questions. Have you got anything new, substantial, cost? Yada yada. And then now it's your turn. You need to ask the right questions too,
That's
right?
right.
And we should be prepared with those. Listen, so I've got a list of some of the things that I'm really concerned, may or may not, but these could happen. What happens if water comes through my foundation and floods my basement's groundwater? Can we talk about that?
Right.
And they're going to tell you, I can't get you coverage on that. But here's the ways I can get you coverage.
Right.
Well, what happens if my toilet overflows with sewage water?
Mm-hmm.
Shitty subject.
Yeah.
Pardon my French. But listen, this stuff happens, right?
It does.
So does it come out? That's a question we asked. Did the water come out of the commode and roll over the bowl onto the floor and spread?
Right.
Yes. That's a sewage loss.
That's a sewage loss.
If the inline water
Kristen.
valve that was coming in to feed the toilet where there's a shutoff, if that pipe broke or cracked and it flooded, that's clean water.
That's clean water.
Big difference in how we respond, right?
That's exactly
Big
right.
difference in coverage, big difference in cost, big difference in lots of things.
Right.
But those are the things we got to be aware of. So
Well,
if
now
someone
you-
asks you a question, can you even answer it? Like, are we hardcore enough to even go?
Adam
I
Gensler,
mean,
hi.
how embarrassing is it to go? I don't know.
Well, I'll give you another
Yeah.
point with water. And again, we may be beating this thing to death.
I think we should.
But I will tell you one thing. What I found out of all the years of experience of a lot of water losses
Yep.
was people chose to ignore certain things.
Yep.
And I'm going to give you the most number one ignored item. And I bet you can't guess it in water. Have any clue?
The number one most ignored is it the water line to the refrigerator that makes ice?
Nope.
Okay.
You're close.
Okay.
Dishwasher?
Nope. It's the washing machine rubber hoses.
Oh yeah, they get brittle and old.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Now, back
Clothes
years
washing
ago,
machine? The
Yeah.
clothes? Oh, okay.
Well,
And-
in the drain, there's water that goes into the machine and there's water that comes out through the drain, right?
the
Those hoses.
the ones that are under pressure is your water lines feeding the machine.
Correct.
Okay. Now, a lot of new houses have the laundry on the second floor.
Right,
Okay.
because it's super convenient.
Oh yeah. But whereas before it was in the basement, again, water rolls downhill. But the rubber hoses that we used to have were all the brown. They're cheap. They're inexpensive. But they only have a certain useful
Over
life.
time, they would get brittle and they would break and crack.
Brittle, crack, and it's always when you're not around. And most people
course.
don't turn off the valves.
Of course.
Okay? So what we've done in the industry, meaning the plumbing industry, they have come up with braided stainless steel
Correct.
lines.
Yep.
It only costs a little bit more to get those stainless steel
And
braided
by a little bit more,
lines.
we're talking about $10, $20. We're not
Right.
talking much.
No. And the thing is, you get a greater peace of mind because how often does stainless steel wear out?
Yeah, it doesn't.
Okay? But that is
And it's flexible too. It's not
Sure.
like, yeah.
So, but again, here's something that a regular homeowner can do that can be very cost effective for them to prevent any further losses.
Okay.
And the thing is, you as a homeowner, you don't want to go through the restoration and tearing out and
Oh my gosh.
rebuilding and the dust and the dirt. You don't want to do that. But there are times you have to. But if you can avoid this
Correct.
and be the hardcore homeowner and look for these little minor
Hey,
things
Tammy.
to correct,
Good to see you.
you can take and correct them, and you will avoid these losses from occurring.
Correct.
Yeah, the other one is the biggest water loss from groundwater,
Yep.
okay, is rain gutters
Yep.
on a house,
Preach, brother.
okay?
Wow.
They never clean them out.
Correct.
All of a sudden, we have a deluge of a flood storm hit us.
And listen,
they
that can
overflow.
happen so much too, because not just getting the leaves and the dirt out of the gutter, but if you don't, right? So let's talk winter. So now snow melts and rolls down in and it freezes.
Right.
During the day it melts, right? Runs through the gutter and puddles, pools. Now it
Nice.
freezes that night, causing an ice dam.
Right.
Which now retreats
Up
under
under
the
the
shingles and into your house.
Right.
And you want to talk about a nightmare? I've seen many. And they're very tough to diagnose sometimes.
They
You
are.
don't know where. I mean, you got a water coming through your ceiling. There's no plumbing anywhere near that corner. The only thing it could be, now, pretty tough to find it. You got to get up in the attic and see. I've seen icicles hanging from rafters in an attic from ice damming because the gutters weren't cleaned out.
Right.
Now, I've got some friends that do that for a living. Wise Pressure Washing, great guy, right? He's on here if he's watching. If not, hit him up. Jason Wise. That's part of their business model is gutter cleaning, right? They do all pressure washing, but they'll come out and do it for you if you don't want to do it because it's a pain.
It is.
But I'll tell you what, it's a huge importance. And you may think that, oh, I don't have any big trees or whatever. You get them looked at. Just get up there and look. If there's dirt and debris in there, they got to be cleaned out. You'll save yourself a ton. The other one, oh, you want to know what I'm hearing lately?
Barbara.
I know we got to wrap up. Here's the new one. Have you seen these rain gutter barrels?
Yes.
Okay, pretty cool idea to capture rainwater, right, and then water the garden with it. Well, you know where they're putting them always?
Oh, yeah.
Right by the front porch.
Right.
So the downspout that comes down by the front porch should run away or be buried and take the water away from the house, right? And it probably did till they cut it off and stuck a barrel there, right? Now the downspout goes into the barrel for catching water. Pretty good idea. What happens when the barrel's full? Where does the water go?
Overflows.
Over the barrel, down into the dirt, right next to your house, and into your basement. Is it covered?
Nope.
It is not. It's because it's groundwater coming in, and it's just not covered. Wow. You're supposed to divert water away, secondary damage. I moved those rain barrels to the back corner of a house and put a hose on them going away.
Andrew Harkins, good to see you.
The biggest thing is in the wintertime, they freeze.
They freeze.
So the best thing you do is if you want to have the barrels, you got to have a valve at the bottom.
Yep.
Hose on it to drain them away from the house.
Correct.
The biggest thing is people do not drain the groundwater away from their gutters far enough from their foundations.
And it seeps
back in.
And I see a lot of foundation walls that begin to bow.
Yes.
Because the soil pushes. Okay, structural issues, big time. There's a strapping system we can use. There's post systems that can be done, but it isn't covered.
So what's coming next week?
So next week, I don't know yet.
Stay tuned.
Because it's always exciting.
Awesome.
Right? But it'll be more of the same. Because it's
Hardcore
important to
Homeowner.
talk about all this stuff. But
sales restoration
we're gonna
and
keep it
mitigation.
rolling. Barry, thanks for coming. I
You're
really
welcome.
appreciate it. I appreciate your
you.
friendship as much as anything. But your knowledge of all this is amazing. And if you don't have a guy, whether it be electrician, plumbing, whatever, like I got Barry for those diagnosed things. That's my guy. But I also got those specific guys too, because I'm lining them up because I want to be hardcore. Right. So Hardcore Homeowner, get your T-shirt. Chime in next week, Thursday night. That'll be what? That'll be January 2nd, right?
Yep.
Or 1st, 2nd.
Second.
Be 2nd.
Yep.
So it'll be the new year. Time to do things the right way.